Hello, everyone. I'm Maureen Ryan Blake, and welcome to the Power of the Tribe. I am so glad you're here with me. So let's get started. Now, when it comes to life, I believe everyone has been born with a gift, a special talent, that's a special something only you have. I call it purpose. Some people call it their calling. Others may call it their vision. But it's within this place that you are unstoppable and magic happens. Now, I also know so many people are actually not living in their purpose. They're living an ordinary life. Maybe they don't know what their purpose is, or maybe they lost it along the way. In the Power of the Tribe, we dream and we thrive, and we don't do anything in the ordinary. So let me give you a little bit of history how the tribe got started. So it was the week of my birthday. I had just moved to a new city and I didn't know anyone. And it was going to be that I'd be sitting at home and having my own birthday party by myself. And then that year, I realized I said, no, I need a change. And on impulse, I went up to, it was a fellow kindergarten mom. Well, one of my children was in that kindergarten class. And I asked her, I said, hey, my birthday's coming up. And you know what? I'm throwing my own party this year. You want to come out and celebrate? And knowing who she is now and how fabulous she is, of course, she said yes. And that's how the tribe got started. And there was actually 6 of us. And we became this powerful group surrounded by love, support, and friendship. And we got to thrive. And within that, over the course of these 8 years, one of the moms is now a successful writer with 2 books under her belt. Another is a jewelry designer. And get this, tequila mogul. A third is a really, really big influencer. And another is a director of a theater here in town, all living their dream, all standing in their purpose. And then there's me. If you would have told me a year ago I'd have my own, hosting my own TV show, I would have laughed at you. But here I am. So what happened out of that, our group, we knew how fortunate we were. And I realized that I get to create this for other women and for other entrepreneurs as well. And we have a saying in the tribe: when a woman loses her tribe, she loses her shine. But when we come together, we shine brighter. And that's what we get to do here. So now, our first show starts off in the kitchen. It is 12 weeks of holiday cooking where you get to learn to make magical holiday meals everyone will remember. Over 12 weeks, with the support of celebrity chefs, we get to come together, cook, and make fabulous, easy, delicious holiday meals and have a lot of fun doing it. So my first guest, she's from down under, from Sydney, Australia. She has her own TV show there, as well as 6 cooking books. Her latest, called The Taste of Greece. She travels quite a bit and does a lot of on remote locations where she's cooking and brings ingredients and culture from where she is, and her scenery is beautiful. And we get to have her as a guest today. So my true pleasure to introduce Lyndey Milan. Here's the video. Our lovely, lovely guest today is from down under, and she's going to be bringing some yumminess that is about Australia. And I have Lyndey Milan, and we're going to get to hear all about it. And she's fabulous. So, Lyndey, welcome. How are you?
Oh, well, hello. It's a beautiful day here. It's the first day of spring for us. And so it's a lovely day.
Where are you in Australia?
I live in Sydney, which is not the capital. Canberra's the capital, but Sydney's the largest city. It's on the east coast, and it's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world.
Wonderful. And so, okay, you're actually opposite weather-wise than us, right?
Yes, we are. So one of the things I like to do is always try to do food in season, but then there are certain things that are trans-seasonal. So I'm going to make a fruit tart, which you can adapt for any season by putting the fruit on that's in season. I'm going to put apples on today. So, yeah, but we are the opposite. I know that food is very available globally now, but I do try to stick to cooking in season and, you know, cooking not only for what's in season, but for what the weather's like, you know. So we've been eating lots of hearty foods. So I think we're all ready to have something lighter.
Okay, so temperature wise, and you know that we what's the temperature there? Because we're like right dab in summer still here in California.
Well, it's probably pretty similar. Where it's about 20 degrees today.
Okay, and
So
what is that Fahrenheit?
What is it there? Oh, what's that in Fahrenheit? I don't know.
We are. It's like in the 80s, so it's not too hot. We're just getting out of a. It was actually really warm for the last week, so we were like in the over 100, like 100, 507, which is not normal for California. So
no, well, it's probably similar. A bit cool at night, but the thing is, it's great time. It's always a good time to cook.
I love that. It's always a good time to cook, and especially when you're a good cook. So what do you have? What are we having? What's on the menu tonight?
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm doing a Vietnamese barramundi salad. And the reason I'm doing that is that barramundi is Australia's native fish. It's a beautiful big fish. I guess it's a little bit like a sea bass. You can use any fish you like. But I wanted to showcase a little bit of who Australia is and what we do. So we're very proud of our barramundi. They do come small plate size farmed, but the ones I like are the really big ones because they lay some fat down the side like I have. And that makes them taste better, although I'm just using some tail pieces. But also Australian food is very, very multicultural. So, you know, it's not, we do use Indigenous foods and flavours. That's come in much more recently with herbs and spices like bush tomato, lemon myrtle, native pepperberry. But really Asian food is really popular. And if you think about it, post the Vietnam War, a lot of Vietnamese came to Australia. So I thought to do Vietnamese, to teach some Australian ingredients to speak Vietnamese. And instead of using peanuts or cashews, as you would in Vietnam, I'm going to use macadamia nuts because they're Australia's native nut as well. Mind you, we didn't appreciate them until the Americans took them and planted them in Hawaii and made them famous. But macadamia is Indigenous to Australia. So I thought that'd be a bit of fun. And then I'm going to do a really easy apple galette.
Okay, I love this. Okay, so we're getting some hometown flavor. We're getting some international influence, and we're gonna. So is there also at the end for some of these spices? Would they be under if we go to like a Vietnamese store, or would be? Let's see where we might be able to lead our people in the notes where we might be able to.
Well, I'm not using any Indigenous spices because it'd be too hard for people to get them.
Okay.
We've been in a dreadful drought in Australia, and the thing is that Indigenous spices normally will grow in a drought anyway, but we've been quite affected as well. And I just think it would be too hard for people to find them. I think even in Australia, it's hard for some people to find them, depending where you live. So my whole thing is I want to show people how easy it is to cook, not how hard it is. So easy to get ingredients, not too many, and just the joy of cooking. And it doesn't have to take forever, but it's just about the joy of cooking and then the joy of sitting down, sharing a table with people, and the conversations you can have across a table with food are so much better than any other conversations anywhere else.
And, you know, we're definitely needing some really good conversation, right, with all COVID. And so
absolutely.
Looking forward to be sitting across the table again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, take it away.
Okay. So I'm going to start with this Vietnamese salad, fish salad, with the barramundi. I'm going to make a really lovely, I'm going to make the skin crisp. It's also because I don't like to waste anything. So we'll just come down here. I'm not making quite 4 portions because there's just me here in the kitchen. So I've got a tail piece, half a tail piece here. And you can see the skin is still on. So what I'm going to do, like these other pieces that I've already done, I'm taking the skin off. I've got a clean board here for this. You need a sharp knife, and then you just like that, and then have faith, and you can just pull. Just pull like that.
Lovely.
And you'll get the skin off. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with that. So here are my 3 pieces of skin. Like this. We're going to sprinkle them with a little salt. I'm going to drizzle them with just a little bit of oil anyway. And now we're going to get another tray. So now I'm going to put another piece of baking paper over the top. And then I'm going to weight that down with an identical tray. This is going to go in the oven now to crisp up. Okay? Right, so we'll pop that in the oven. Now, I just do need to clean my knife, but I don't need to clean the board. So I'll take this board off because I don't want to mix. And clean knife. Right, so now I'm going to turn that on too soon. Now we're going to start on the apple tart. So I'll just get the pastry. Important to keep your pastry really cold. Okay, so this is just a sheet of commercial puff pastry. Okay, I think puff pastry really does have a superior flavour.
Did you have to unroll that or anything, or did it?
No.
Okay.
No, this comes in sheets like this. It's fabulous. Okay. Absolutely fabulous. But otherwise, you could unroll it. Look, you can actually go to your bakers and ask them for puff pastry. I'm going to cut this in 6 because I like the idea of the shape of 6. So just like this. Otherwise, you can unroll the pastry and roll it out.
Okay.
And I don't mind that all the bits aren't exactly even because I want people to know that my food is homemade. I don't want it to look like some fabulous patisserie. There we go. All right. Now I'm just going to score around the edge.
So does that mean just lightly take it with the knife?
Lightly. You don't go all the way through. I'm just scoring to make a little bit of a border, really.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do that on all of these pieces. And I've got some butter here. I'm going to glaze it with some melted butter. Oh, it is melted enough. I thought I might have to pop it back. I just melted that in the microwave.
Now, is that salted or unsalted?
Oh, look, do you know what? That's a great question. It's salted. You know what? I'm lazy. I just buy salted butter. If it's something really super duper, but you know what? Salt adds flavour. So I just use salted because to buy unsalted just to do this would be a bit crazy in my book.
Okay. So
there we go. So now you can do 2 different things here. So I'm just scoring that so I know where to put my apple. Okay, then you can just score the inside like this because we don't want that pastry to rise. Or the other thing you can do more traditionally is just prick it with a fork because this will help to stop that pastry rising because we don't want it all to rise. We just want the edge to rise.
Okay.
And the reason I'm using puff pastry, it's butter puff pastry, is I think the flavour is much better than short crust pastry. If you make your own short crust pastry, that's great. But I do think that actually commercial butter puff pastry is just lovely and it's so light. Okay, so there we go. So that's
And can you buy that and like throw it in the freezer till you're ready?
Yeah. So now I'm just going to brush the edge. No, I'm not. I'm going to brush the edge with some milk, which I forgot to get out. That's all right. The butter is to go over the top. There we go. So I'm just going to brush the edge with milk to encourage it to brown.
Okay.
Now you could actually do this with egg yolk, which will make it lovely and glossy. And if I was having people for dinner, I might do that. But as I said, I just want this to be really easy. Like there's not very many ingredients in this if you think about it, which makes it absolutely fantastic for the home cook. So I'll just set that aside. Now, these apples are massive, so I'm not going to need them all. Now, I've washed them, but I'm not taking the skin off.
Good.
Because I really like the colour. So I'll just...
so what kind of apples are they?
These are called Bonza, and they're in season right now. But you can use any apple you like. I mean, traditionally, you'd often use a green apple for baking. But, you know, I really like the colour of this.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I might have to cut these in half. It's just a sneaky way of getting rid of the core, just cutting it along like that.
Yeah, and you just do nice thin slices.
Yeah, and you could do this with pear, you can do it with figs, you could do it with, you know, mango, you can do it with, you know, just any fruit you've got. Now let's just have a little look and see how we're going. Big apple. No, that's okay, great.
Just
So
put
now
it
I'm
in
just
there.
overlap like this. You know, I can smell that fish skin. It smells delicious. I've got my
It's dinner time here.
I should say I've got my oven preheated to 200 degrees centigrade. Are you centigrade or are you Fahrenheit?
With Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. So you wanted about 350.
Okay.
About 375 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So once again, just cut it in half, and you can just cut the core out like that without having to core it and back around. Anything easy is what I like.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Fast and easy, but that's my cooking.
And so pretty. It's just natural food, you know, yummy.
It's just, look, it's simple. It's simple and it's delicious. Here we are. So I'm going to cut into, so this is only going to take one apple. There you go. Sharp knife's what you need in the kitchen. Just got to fiddle this little bit so it doesn't, there you go. Right, okay. So we'll finish this off. And then we're just going to get it to caramelise a bit. Oh, I'm going to need to cut that next apple. No, I'm not. Look, I'll just. Oh yes, I am. We've got time. I'll make them all beautiful. Right.
So it's definitely, that's it, more in the crispy apple family. Like that is not as soft as like a delicious.
No, I wouldn't use a delicious. Actually, that's a great question. But I wouldn't use it. I'm not that fond of delicious. I
mush up, right?
I like crisp apples, but as I said, a green apple. Okay, so now we've done that.
Perfect.
So easy now.
Look how pretty.
We're just going to put some brown sugar over the top. This will help it caramelise.
Lovely.
So far, the ingredients we've used are pastry, butter, apples, brown sugar and milk. So 5 ingredients. Pretty good, eh?
Mm.
So brown sugar on the top, like that.
And it's going to make your house smell really yummy.
Yeah, and then drizzle it, or we can actually just brush it again. We'll just get some of this butter out to help it. I just softened the butter in the microwave first. There you go.
Okay.
Right. So now this is going to go in the oven for about 15 or 20 minutes. Put that in the top. I would normally put that in a slightly hotter oven, like 220, but this is fan forced, so I just wanted to make sure. Now we'll regroup, and I'll just say hello. So are you going well? So that's all we have to do with that. And then in about 20 minutes, I can take it out and present it, and we can do it with ice cream or some Greek yogurt. So now I am going to get on with my fish. So I'm just clearing the depth the slightest bit. So I think what I'm going to do, okay, so I'll show you with the fish first. I'll get that board back because I'm not wanting to cross-contaminate between boards, and it saves what you want. So this is corn flour. Do you call that corn flour or arrowroot?
Arrowroot.
Okay, well, that's what I've got in here because we're going to deep fry the fish. So all I'm going to do is cut this into chunks. Cut it into chunks like this. I know it's a bit of a shame with a bit of You could leave the fish whole and drape it across the top, but I really like the way this gets incorporated then into the salad. So,
so now is
fingers. Instead of putting the flour in a bowl,
right?
If you put it in a bag, there's no washing up.
Is there any seasoning in the flour?
No, there's not. Great question, though. No, because the seasoning's going to be in the dressing.
Okay.
Where I'm using some. Now, there we are. So try and cut the pieces all a similar size, like that. And as I said, you could use any fish at all with this. And the skin's an optional extra. It's just a little trick I like to do because I think it's fantastic. So now we seal this.
Nice and easy.
And coat it in flour. And look, no mess.
Yay. And evenly distributed too.
Exactly. So now I'll just wash my knife again and clear it all. There we go. So now I'll heat up the oil, but I'll get on with the salad. So I've had trouble with my stove, which is why I had this turned on before, but then it was getting too hot for my pastry. So I'll have to use this one. It's all right, I'll be able to show you.
So, okay, I have a question. I know you're going to move on to the salad. So, but you're using a regular pot and oil and not a deep fryer?
Yeah, I'm not using. Look, once again, I got it alight. I knew if I persevered, it would light up. Once again, I don't want people to have special equipment. So all I'm using here is a normal saucepan, and I'm using peanut oil. This is the only time I tend to always use extra virgin olive oil because I do think that it is much better for us. One thing, though, I am probably going to cook the fish in 2 batches because if I cook it all at once, it'll lower the temperature too much, and then it'll become then the fish will soak up the oil. Okay, so now we're going to get onto this recipe. So what we've got, this is so easy. It's ridiculously easy. So this is my serving plate. So I've got some baby cucumbers that we call cukes, or you could use small, what we call Lebanese cucumbers. So I'm just going to cut these in quarters. If you think they're too long, actually, it's too long for that bowl, I'll cut them in halves. I think it's nice to put your food in colourful plates. So, and having spoken about the fish, you know, you could, if you preferred, you could easily do this with prawns, or I guess you call them shrimp.
Yep.
So that's probably about enough of that. And now I have got now I couldn't get any holy basil or Thai basil because it's winter. So I've just got ordinary basil here. And I really like the idea of just leaving the leaves whole. So it's like a salad, but instead of salad leaves. I've got some mint leaves here.
Ready.
Now they're a bit bigger, so I might just rip them up and pop them in. And then I've got some coriander leaves, which you call cilantro.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nutrition in there.
That's the basis here, so clean hands, that's all right. Now, I'm also going to put in, now I tried to get Thai shallots, but these little eschalots are fine as well. These are the little tiny, little small ones. Do you call those eschalots, I guess?
Bomb shallots.
Yeah, great. That's exactly right. Okay, so we just want to slice these up finely.
So you're having a very mild onion flavor in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Mild rather than hot. Look, if you can't get these, you could use a red onion, a small red onion.
Yeah.
But the flavour of this is milder and sweeter.
Yeah. I always keep them in, you know, just to have them because they stay. So if I'm picking them up, I'll
They
throw them right
do.
at it, and I leave them in with the onions and the garlic. Just so we just have them.
They do. They last very, very, very well. Okay. So we'll just...
And I love how it's a different mix of the greens.
Yeah. Instead of having salad, lettuce or anything, it's really lovely to have that. So that's the basis of this. Oh no, sorry, that's getting a bit hot over there. I'm going to show you something. My oil's actually not hot enough yet. I'm going to show you how you test. A really easy way to test is to put something wooden in.
Oh.
And if it bubbles up around it, so I'll wait till it's warm enough and then show you. If it bubbles up around it, then you know that it's hot enough.
Well, okay. So that's where I get a lot of problems. So first of all, I don't like extra things in my kitchen, like a deep fryer and all. I like things.
Me neither.
But I do get it where it's like not hot enough, or then it gets too hot. Is there any tips to keep it consistent?
Yeah, I will. Sorry, I just cut open an avocado. And it was brown inside, so I don't want to use that, obviously. So I'll just cut another avocado. The thing is, keep a lid handy in case you come into strife because, I can see that's actually getting too hot now. It only takes a moment. I could see that. Can you see that steam coming off it? But I can't have my exhaust fan on or it would be far too noisy for you. So what I'm going to do now is, can you see that bubbling up?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so that's telling me it's hot enough.
And Lyndey, can you go into, I know why, but can you go into why you didn't use the olive oil? And if you don't have peanut, what other higher temperature?
Well, I normally always use extra virgin olive oil. Right. It's just because it's Asian, it's not very authentic to use.
Would the temperature get hotter enough too? Wouldn't it not?
Yes,
really?
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, some great research looks at extra virgin olive oil can actually go to a very high smoke point if it is extra virgin olive oil. If it's really good oil, you can do that. It's no problem. There we are. So I'm only going to do half because I don't want it to, because what happens is you've got to keep the temperature high. If you don't keep the temperature high, what happens is instead of forming a seal around the fish with the coating, the oil will soak in, and you actually don't want that. So I've just got a small avocado, and just with a spoon. Oh, this
beautiful!
This is so delicious. I'm right. So
I'm a big fan of avocados. Big fan.
Yeah. We grow so many of these in Australia now. And not only up in the north, Western Australia, funnily enough, down around the Margaret River, grows a lot. So just break that up. I love this because you can just build the salad as you go.
Easy.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could build in individual dishes. This is really only enough for sort of 2 or maybe 3. I just got to do my fingers again, and
love it.
We'll see how that fish is going. But I've got one more thing for the salad. So let's just see. Yeah, that's great. I'm just going to take that out. I will show you in 2 ticks. I do love this. I totally agree with you about having too much equipment in our kitchens. But I do love this Chinese. So I'm just going to let that. So you can see.
I love that's the wooden spoon that you use.
Yeah, this is Chinese.
Fabulous.
It's Chinese. It costs very little. You can get it in any Chinatown anywhere.
Love it.
I can see that's getting hot again. Just going to take that off for a sec because I don't want to burn. Oh, there's one piece left in there. That's why. There we go. Oh, so lovely.
Yummy.
Hey. So I'll just test that again and make sure that it's the right temperature.
So if people had a peanut allergy, would you suggest they use maybe avocado oil or something that gives you a higher?
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. Really excellent idea. And avocado oil would be lovely because you've got avocado in here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in a similar way, you could use macadamia nut oil.
Mm.
Yeah, look, there's always, but mostly I use extra virgin olive oil for everything, including deep frying. In Greece, they do. I did a TV series in Greece, and I learned a lot about that. Okay, so there's that. So it's all pretty. So now I had trouble getting what I wanted. I wanted to get a green papaya or mango, and this isn't really green, but it's pretty green. So very traditional to use this. So I'll cut the skin off.
They can go much bigger though, right?
No, this is actually quite big. I'm just finding another one. No, this is actually quite a big one. Usually they're quite small when they're green because they're green. Sorry, they're small because they've been picked green. They're also very hard to peel when they're green. See, they get bigger as they grow. Okay. So naturally, you know, the true green ones are really small. And, you know, if you don't like it, leave it out or, you know, put something else in. I just love the way that there are no really traditional salad ingredients in this at all. So now I think really that's quite large. So I'm going to cut it I'm trying to cut it small to go in here.
Lovely.
So that it doesn't overwhelm the salad.
And you're adding another color.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know, colourful food is good for you. I think if you've got all the colours there, then the food's pretty good for you. And, you know, it's a bit of fun as well. This is a great thing too. You know, if you've got people coming over, you can always get them to help if you wish. You know, kids love doing something like this. Or keep them away from the deep fryer. Okay, so now here's some
lovely
of the papaya. Now that fish is just toss it through with your fingers. I'm going to do this a bit differently. There we are. We should just slice this.
And it's not as sweet because it's green, right?
No, because you look, Asian food is all about contrast of texture and flavours as well. Okay, now it's time for me. It's time for me definitely to get that fish out. I can tell. So what I'm doing is I'm just draining it on some kitchen paper. If it's been cooked at the correct temperature, it really shouldn't be really oily. And the kitchen paper shouldn't pick up too much. So I'm just going to let that's too hot at the moment. But there's the basis of our salad. So now I'm going to do the dressing, which is, you could just do this together in a jar if you wish. Now I've got a chili here. Now I just want to show you something. A long chili. By the way, you can freeze chilies. I grew this, and when they're in season, I just froze them all whole, and then you can just reuse them. You can rehydrate them. I mean, I don't mean rehydrate them. I mean just take it out of the freezer. But the heat in a chili is in this membrane that's down here, and that's what makes the seeds so hot. So if you want chili flavour and not too much heat, just scrape out those seeds.
Oh, yummy.
Just scrape out the seeds. And then now, be very careful where you put your fingers. And if you do put your finger in your eye, just put milk in a glass and use it like an eye bath.
Milk.
The lactic acid will counteract the capsaicin, which is in the chili. Okay. Cold tea works as well, but if you've got to make a cup of tea and wait for it to cool, I think that's a bit of an issue. Okay, so in here with the chili, I love that. Okay, now I've got the juice and zest of a lime. I've washed the lime. Just make sure, obviously, you're going to zest it before you juice it. Now, when you zest it, you need to make sure that you don't take off too much of the white pith, because if you take all of that white pith off, it's quite bitter. And we're wanting the oil from the skin, but we don't want the bitterness from the pith. So
It's so simple and yet so fragrant and
great. You know, they say that Vietnamese food is the health food of Asia, and I just think it's so lovely. Okay, so we're going to now, and also we're looking for a balance of flavours. So we've got heat from chili. We've got this lime hasn't got much in it. I'll get another one. I've got one in the fridge. Here we go. There we are. I grew these as well, but this one's already lost its skin for another recipe. Okay,
now, do you have the whole herb garden out with you as well?
I've got a herb garden on the balcony, but we've got a place in the country. Not that we can get there very much now, but and I grow the chilies and kaffir lime leaves and things there, which are really lovely. So there's the juice of a lime.
Delicious.
And now I've got some fish. So you're looking for a balance of flavour, okay? So you've got heat from the chili, you've got acid from the lime, we've got salt from fish sauce, and then I've got some rice wine vinegar, but also some caster sugar because that will dissolve easily. And I'm going to whisk this together and let the sugar dissolve. And then that is going to be our dressing. But I'm going to taste that. Just let me check my oven. Ooh, I just got steamed up. Just going to have a look at my fish. I think my fish skin might be ready. Crack that oven up a bit for the... Yeah. So let's see how our fish skin is going. Oh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Absolutely. I love it when it... Now look at that. It's like crackling. It's fish crackling, you know, like pork crackling, only that's fish crackling. How good is that?
Yum.
So now I'm going to taste my dressing. And you see there's no oil in this dressing. So this is really, really lovely. So just let me taste the dressing. That's really quite salty for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pop in a little bit of extra rice wine vinegar.
Okay.
And I'll just taste that again with a clean spoon. You know, I judge some competitions and I say to these young chefs,
the fish.
If you don't taste your food, how do you know what it tastes like? Oh, that is just... Oh, now, I wish you could taste it.
Yeah, I wish.
So, are you ready for me to assemble the dish?
So, with the fish broth, is that also considered dashi or daishi?
What's that?
The fish broth.
Oh, you mean dashi?
Yes.
Dashi fish broth. Yes. What about that? Oh no,
that's another.
No, that's not what the fish sauce is. This is Thai fish sauce, which is a seasoning that's very salty.
Okay.
So you don't actually need a huge amount of it. Whereas dashi is Japanese. It's dried. It's a dried Japanese stock that you can add water to.
Okay.
So maybe just before I assemble that, because I just want the fish skin to go down, I thought we should talk about a wine that actually might just go with both, but will certainly go with one. So what I've got a Gewürztraminer. Now, this is from about a fourth or fifth generation Australian family, the Henschkes, in the Barossa Valley, and it's Gewürztraminer. And originally it comes from Alsace, but it's got a little bit of sweetness. It's a little bit floral, and it's got some texture. So I'm thinking that it's going to handle the heat of the chili. So Gewürz actually means spicy. The trouble is my hands are slippery. And it's in that lovely long Riesling bottle. But, of course, being Australia, under a screw cap. Do you have many of those?
We have it's like a 25-75% that do versus regular cork.
Well, we love the screw cap because then there's no cork paint. People say, and also now you can't fly with a corkscrew anywhere. So anyway, so I'm just going to have a little taste. So,
smell yummy.
Think of flavors like lychee, rose petal, but it's still got a little bit of acid that's going to match the acid in the dish, I hope. So, okay, so now let's put it all together. And then we'll do the taste test. I'm sorry I can't zoom you some. So
I so wish I was there.
So here's the basis of the salad. We've got mint leaves, basil leaves, coriander leaves. We've got some Thai shallot, and I've got some green mango and avocado. Yeah, and that's it. So now we've got our beautiful deep fried barramundi. So we'll just pop this on. I like to pop this on before I do the dressing. And then we'll pop on some of this dressing. As I said, I'm not quite making the full quantity. And I'll just give that a bit of a toss. Oh, I so wish we could do this together. I wish we could eat this together.
I would have brought wine and flowers.
Yeah, I know, you would have too. There we go. So, and I like to make sure you can see a bit of everything. So I want my guests to know that there's chili in there. That's why I'm making sure you can see a bit of chili, but you can see a little bit of every ingredient. And then here are my macadamia pieces. You can have whole macadamias or cashews or peanuts, but I thought I'd use macadamia because we are Australian. But it's very translatable, this recipe. That's the other reason I chose it, is that all of your viewers will be able to make it as well. And now look at this bit of deliciousness. So that's the skin. And you can either, I think you might just put a shard on top like that, or we could break a few bits up too if we like. But I think it looks rather nice like that. So I'll make sure, and what I'm going to do too is I'm going to take a photo of this later and send it to you.
Oh,
so there's the finished dish. Now that didn't take too long at all.
No.
I will just, if you will allow me, I'll just have a little taste.
You have to taste.
I have to taste it. I'll just try a little bit of that fish.
That good.
It's fragrant, it's fresh, it's light, it's got lovely texture, but the flavour just goes on and on, but it's not, that chili's not aggressive because I took the seeds out. Now, perfect. And you know what's interesting? I teach food and wine matching a bit, and people are sometimes intimidated by the words we use. And if we say something's buttery, well, we don't mean it's like butter. It's a signpost, you know. Actually, it's a signpost saying it's going in that direction. It's not going in the, lemony direction. And I think if you talk about the flavours of food, sometimes then if you can use those same adjectives for wine, you can find a wine. So I think this is textured. It's got some sweetness in it. So, it's textured, it's fragrant, it's floral. Oh, textured, fragrant, floral. What a great description for Gewürztraminer. So it's not because we're wankers that we use those terms. It's just, am I allowed to say that? It's just, they're words we all know. Food terms we understand. Wine terms we don't necessarily understand. So
it doesn't translate. I think that's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. So now
here comes our pastries.
Oh, yeah. And I should have had faith. Oh, no, perfect. Oh. So what I'm going to do is move you down so you can see, and we will look at plating this up. And now remember, you can do it with any fruit you like.
How simple.
So let me just show you the galettes.
Oh, they're perfect.
Don't they look great?
They do.
And really, really simple, like me. And so let's plate one up.
Oh, I'm checking that out. That's so easy and lovely.
Yeah. And so then, I told you I did a TV series in Greece. I rather like a little bit of Greek yogurt there. And I think that is just perfect.
Perfect.
With that dish.
Absolutely lovely.
Just perfect. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to, because I want to take a photo of those and send to you later. I'll just have a little taste of one of these.
Good.
And just try it with the Gewürz. Because the Gewürztraminer has got a bit of sweetness in it. Normally you want to make sure that the sweetness in the dish is less than the sweetness in the wine, because otherwise you're going to flatten off the wine and make it appear really simple and uninteresting. So I'm just going to try. Just have a little bite.
Hot.
Oh, hot. Oh, so good. Buttery, crunchy, crisp, sweet. And you know what? This just makes it. It just makes it. So that's a pretty versatile wine to go with both of them. So those are two really fast and fabulous recipes, which is, I guess it's my style. What I like to do is to simplify things, make sure there's no flavour compromise, but just make it easy. So people are busy. I know people are all cooking more now, but I want people to have a guaranteed outcome. Because if you're going to go to the effort of cooking, you want to know it's going to be delicious. Yep. And I think especially for people who are only really starting to cook now, because of current circumstances or whatever, it's nice to have confidence and know that a recipe is going to work.
Perfect. Yep. I love that. And it's nutritional and all that balance and the colors. I mean, you covered it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's the kind of thing that I do. So I really hope that your viewers will enjoy that as well. As I said, we'll make sure that you've got the recipe so that you can make it available. And it's just fabulous to join you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Okay. I have a surprise for you. Do you want to be on TV? Do you have a talent that you're trying to get discovered? Or maybe you have a message that you want to get out to the world. Or maybe you just have a funny joke. Well, here's your opportunity. Each month, I will be selecting one lucky contestant to come spend a little time in the Power of the Tribe Network. That's right. You get to come on TV with me. So what you need to do, you need to go and register at thepowerofthetribe.com/TV and get signed up. And we will be able to show you all of the details about entering the contest. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fabulous. And you get to get yourself discovered. How great is that? So again, go to thepowerofthetribe.com/TV and register today. Okay, I can't wait to meet you. And okay, so next week, I have the Sicilian chef, Enzo Olivieri. Oh, we will be going to, we'll be in the UK, in the countryside of Kent, and we'll get to visit Enzo in his restaurant. And he's just lovely. So stay tuned next week, and I will see you really soon. Okay, thanks for being here. Bye, everyone.